to our Sunday service. It's April 1st. Who's had an April Fool's joke played on already today? No one? I'll have to think of one. Yeah, one of my guides has a real sense of humor. Whenever you hear me say anything really humorous, I've got a guide with a pretty wicked sense of humor. So welcome. Thank you, Seth. That was just beautiful and amazing. As always, this is Seth Pincus, sound healer extraordinaire. And Seth does concerts and tutors music and does sound healing sessions. So connect with Seth if you feel called. And this is Bob Siress, our guest speaker this morning. Bob's going to be talking to us about the work that he does with a lot of other people, a local group as well as the international group, for becoming aware of near-death experiences. Not only aware of them, but how your life shifts once you've had one. So we'll be talking about that later. So welcome, Bob. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for asking me.
We always have the most amazing guest speakers here. I'm so blessed the way Spirit lines them up for us. So yesterday in Laguna Beach was the, can I get a little more sound on this? Yes, it's maxed. Doesn't too loud. Okay. Yesterday in Laguna Beach, I attended the 3rd annual Festival of the Goddesses. It was put on by Yamini, who's renowned for her beautiful goddess photographic images. And I was very excited because I work most Saturdays, so to take a Saturday off and go play and eat and drink and talk to a lot of women all day sounds really appealing. So I afforded myself the luxury of having the whole day off. And Shakti Tribe was playing there, and I never miss a performance when they have one, so that was a lot of fun too. And I was amazed when I got there around 11 o'clock how many people I knew. And sometimes I get a little woeful when our numbers for events are low, but then when I got there yesterday, I realized how many people I had connected with and met over the last couple of years, and who had touched me and I had touched in some way. And they had all kinds of vendors and a center stage with a fashion show, and Peter Sterling was there playing his harp. And they had some panel discussions in this theater. So I went in and I joined one, and there was about 6 or 7 women there. And I caught the end of it. And I always find it interesting at some of these events where it's all about the goddess energy. There's a lot of women there that I would say are recovering from aspects in their life where they felt broken, where they were oppressed in some way or harmed in some way. And there's a lot of power coming through them about, hailing to the goddess and bringing back that divine energy. And of course I support that. But one of the reasons why I stopped going to Ava Carpenter's Goddess Temple of Irvine and I started this one was I felt, and I still feel, as though when you talk about the divine goddess and the feminine energy, we can't and must not forget the divine masculine and the male energy. And as they were talking yesterday, they were saying, even if you're a man, the divine goddess energy is within you. Well, yes, that's true, but let's not forget that there's divine masculine energy in women as well. And we must not be out of balance and only be emphasizing the strength and the emergence of one. We have to do both. And I think I was talking about this a little bit a couple of weeks ago, where we're bringing this energy back in of the divine feminine, but it's not to be misinterpreted as that men are losing their power and women are getting the power. It's that we're bringing a balance of the energies in within each and every one of us. There is male and female energy in each person, no matter what sex you are. And it's the joining of the two and the balancing, which is what we're coming into. We were previously out of balance before. The men had not been acknowledging their feminine energy, and the women had not been acknowledging their male energy. That was the patriarchal system that we're leaving now, is that extreme out of balance. And now we're coming back into both males and females realigning and being in balance to where we both nurture and provide. And Ava Carpenter, she's the presiding reverend and my colleague over there at the Goddess Temple of Irvine. And she was speaking and she said that she had recently heard a quote from the Dalai Lama. And he was quoted as saying that it is the Western woman who will heal the world. And she said she wanted to embellish on that statement and tweak it a little bit and say more precisely, it is the queen energy inside the Western woman that will heal the world. And what she was talking about was she very much supports the four presences of women: the maid, the mother, the queen, and the crone. And that it's when women move past the overwhelmed, overworked mother energy of gotta get this done, gotta get dinner, gotta work, I gotta be the 18-hour woman, I've gotta get all this done, and they're so exhausted that they're not stepping into their power. And again, as I was sitting there listening to her, I thought, but what about the king energy? Where's the male energy that is the same thing? Because there are fathers that are overworked and overwhelmed and thinking that all they have to do is they've got to get out there, they've got to get that earning, they've got to take care of their family, and the stress and the pressure. And it's when the men can get out of that intense provider mode simultaneously while the women get out of the intense nurturing mode and both step into their king and their queen energy. And that's when we'll start to recognize the false evidence of competition. That we're no longer looking at what the other person is doing, but only recognizing our own role and our own power and what it is that we're supposed to be stepping forward and doing, and recognizing that we're on a team, that everybody has their role, everybody has their job, and we do each of our jobs with pride and with intention and with a desire to be of service, and we're not looking over our shoulder watching and wondering what somebody else is doing. Are they making more money? Are they earning less? Are they stressed less? Are they more successful than me? Do they have a newer car than me? Do they have more in their 401k than me? Do they have more clients than I do? Are they billing more hours than I am? It's ego that compares. When you're in spirit, there's no comparisons. You just do. You just show up and you just do. And I thought it was interesting because at the end, when I was connecting with Ava, she looked at me and she said, and there's no competition between us. And I said, of course there's not. I said, you're only 10 miles from me, but we need 100 more centers like this, and we still wouldn't have enough. And I always find that interesting when I mentor the holistic healing practitioners, and there's that energy about them that says that if more and more practitioners get certified, there's going to be less and less work for them. Au contraire. How many practitioners that you think do we have that do this work compared to the millions and millions and millions of people that live on this earth? There aren't enough of us to go around if we work 24 hours a day for the next 100 years. We need so many more people to step up and get into this work and show up and be of service. And that's the I am present. And I had this feeling, I'm starting a mentorship program this week where I'm taking on 10 practitioners. And I've been asking Spirit to bring the class through me. And one of the feelings that I had was, what if there were thousands and thousands and thousands of practitioners and we all do our work and we get ourselves out of a job, because that is what a true professional, a true consultant that does their job, a true doctor that heals, eventually we no longer have any work to do because we've done our work. And I had this feeling of fear. What happens if all the holistic healers, we do our work and everybody on the planet gets healed? What are we going to do? Well, I think at that point in time, everybody's vibration is going to be so high that we'll just be manifesting everything we need into thin air. will just be creating everything that we need. And so it's amazing to me how these egoic thoughts, this fear can creep in and say, well, you can't heal everybody because then you wouldn't have anything to do. I mean, does that make sense? But these are the things our ego, these are the tricks our ego plays on us. It gets us out of oneness. So we go from feelings into intuition. How many people who read the little message I put in the Sunday, on the weekly thing that went out on Thursday? Interesting book I'm reading about this gentleman that says there are only intuition and feelings. And if you are not being guided by intuition, you're being guided by feelings. And the feelings can even be ones of exhilaration, but those are only fear in disguise. Because true feelings are simply in oneness. And we have this ability. We have this body that is made up of matter, that our energy creates this matter. But this matter is not what creates our energy, is it? Our energy existed before this body made up of molecular matter came into being, and it will exist after this body is no longer made up of matter. We exist in perpetuity. We live in a safe universe. No real harm can come to us in any way, shape, or form. We cannot starve. We cannot cease to exist. We cannot be compromised. The energy of our soul is completely safe in every way. But when we have this body, this matter, this body says, but I need to eat, I need to be safe. I need to have a car that will get me there. I need to have a roof over my head. I need to have clothing to keep me warm. And I need a safe place to sleep and rest at night. Because the body knows that it is vulnerable. And so sometimes our mind takes on the energy of the body. But our soul is not vulnerable. Our soul is safe. And we have so many experiences that prove that to us and show it to us again and again. I know all of you have heard angel messages. I know all of you have had intuitive hits. And I know all of you have had experiences that you just can't account for in any other way but to ask yourself, this must be some kind of spiritual calling. This must be some kind of message. How many of you, your guides have a sense of humor? They would give it to you in a really funny way. Yeah, because humor lightens it up, doesn't it? It makes you laugh. I mean, sometimes I'll get a message and I'll be in my car, or I'll be at home or in the office there, and I will burst out loud laughing because of the way they set up showing something to me. And it's almost like they're messing with me in the most loving, supportive and kind way to get me to see things in a lighter way. And I appreciate the humor when it comes through. So I don't know what the equivalent of a crone is for a male, but when we look at the maiden energy and the young boy energy, the father energy, the mother energy, the king and the queen, and then for the females I say crone. Is there a male crone? Wait, is there a different name, or is it just a male crone? An aged man who is of great wisdom, past his kingship. He's past the one out there heralding in the changes, but he's the one that everybody comes to for wisdom and advice. So whatever the female version.
Sage.
The sage, but I guess that goes both ways, huh? A sage. A guru? Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to go home. I meant to actually look that up before I came. I didn't have time. But there must be some kind of equivalent to a male, a crone for a male. So we all go through that passage of time. How many men in here feel like you're in I know some of you know, when I say father, just because you have not seeded a child doesn't mean that you're not in father energy. You could be creating something, providing over something, presiding over something. And the trick is, and this is what I love about what Eva said, is that king energy and that queen energy, that is not something that is compartmentalized to a certain aspect of your life. You have that energy in every stage. How many people have seen like a young girl or a young boy, and maybe they're 13 or 16 or 20, but they're just in charge. They're just taking charge of their life, and they're moving forward, and they're just not in any place other than completely being in charge of their life. That king-queen energy can stay with you your whole life. But if you're not stepping into it, sometimes when you get exhausted by the maiden energy and the mother energy, that's when you start recognizing that element is missing in your life. And it simply means that you're in oneness, that you recognize that when you take care of yourself, instead of exhaustingly taking care of everybody else first, that if the God energy is inside of you, by taking care of yourself, you are serving God. And when you do that, you serve everyone else. And the universe will provide back to you when you show up for service to the universe. And that's getting into that sovereignty. And that's why we use the word king and queen. It's about personal sovereignty. Taking care of yourself. Making sure that you're eating, resting, getting into oneness, that you're meditating, and that you're going by intuition rather than your going feelings. And it's a journey, and you do it piece by piece, but you'll feel it when you get stronger, and you'll know when you're in that I am presence. So get into that energy, and if you have to ask, are you in it? You're not. Because when you're in it, you know. You'll feel it. You'll say, this feels peaceful, and calm, and centered, and graceful. Any questions? So, Bob, you know, I was going to stand up today, and I forgot. I told him I wanted to stand up when I talked to them, and I completely forgot. Anyway, Bob, thank you. Welcome, and please tell us a little bit about your group and how you got into it and what called you to